Good day all, welcome back to South African Prepping channel. Thank you very much for watching our first video regarding the 5 reasons why a South African should be prepping or preparing. We would like to thank everybody for watching our first video. Please like and subscribe and please share our page to anybody or any person that you think might find the info life-changing or that will make a difference in their lives. So for today's video, like promised, we're going to be discussing the 10 most or the 10 easiest things to start prepping with. So this is the 10 things that you can prepare at home, that you can buy extra every single month to make sure that you start stockpiling for the near future and the collapse that might take place in South Africa. So the 10 most popular food stuff that we suggest you should be prepping and buying for. Let's jump into the video. So number 1 for us, most important, is water. Now we all know the municipality situation in South Africa, where municipalities are really extremely corrupt and where service delivery are extremely bad. So number 1 for us is water. Now at home we store our water in 20-liter containers, and this is very important for us because you can actually go 3 weeks without food, but you cannot go 3 days without water. So water for us is list on the list for number 1. And then number 2 on our list for your prepping, and what is most important to us, is water purification. Now there's various things that you can use to purify water with. The simplest way, and you guys please need to go Google this, you need to go research this, but the easiest way we have found in South Africa for us to purify water in a situation where water might be dirty. We all know that most of our sewage actually runs into rivers these days. So we have found at our local store, our Makro and our Spar and our Pick n Pay, they actually keep pool shock. So you can go have a look, Google that, do a bit of research. We have tested the pool shock before. You do need to leave the water for about half an hour before it actually is drinkable. But in a crisis situation where you need to clean water, pool shock is easy to store. It's relatively cheap and it's easy to use, but please go and research this before you start using it. Test it beforehand. So what we've done is we've bought a whole lot of kilogram packets. We heat shrunk them to store them away, and we keep them separate from our normal food. So on our list for number 3 for today is rice. And we're going to jump over to number 4 is beans. So all your dried beans, your kidney beans, your brown beans. What we normally do is we buy at Makro, we buy smaller packets. They come in 500 grams. Now we do this because our family being fairly large, we can just take out a small packet and then prepare that for the day's meal in a case of an emergency. Coming back to the rice quickly, what we do with the rice, we also buy normally big packets pre-packed in 1 kgs, and what we do is once we've bought the rice, we actually put it in the freezer for at least a day. We then take it out of the freezer, we let it get back to room temperature, and then we actually then put it into our crates. You can actually see some of the crates behind me right now. The next South African thing that you can also store away is sump. We all know sump. Sump unfortunately takes a long time to cook. You have to put it into water and let it soak for at least half a day before you can prepare it. But sump is also one of those things that will last quite a long time. And what we also do is we buy the smaller packets. What we do is we put it in a Ziploc bag, we press out all the air of the Ziploc bag, and then we close the Ziploc bag, and then we store it in the containers as behind. The next South African food stuff that you need to store away and prepare for is pap or maize meal. Now I'm a typical South African. I love pap and sauce and meat, and we do exactly the same as with rice and with the beans. We buy it in smaller packets. The only difference is that you cannot, well, if you want to, you can actually take the pap out of the packets, put it in a plastic or glass container, and then you can also put it in the freezer to get rid of all the mites and all of the insect larvae so it will actually last you longer. The next one on our list is small packets of soya. Now soya you can get in various flavors at Makro, and we've bought about 4 or 5 different flavors, and they also come in smaller boxes or larger boxes. Again, we prefer the smaller boxes because it's easier to take out one box than to actually open a big box and then use a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow. Right, next on our list for preparing in South Africa, and these are the basic things that we believe that you should be prepping with and that you should be keeping ready to go should South Africa collapse, is pasta. Any type of pasta, the longer pastas, the shell pastas, the twirly pastas, whatever pasta you can find. Again, we normally buy in smaller packets instead of big large packets because it just works easier for us. Next on our list is soups. Now if you go to Makro, you will see that Makro, again, they have a big variety of soups. Now the reason why we buy soups is because of the list that we've gone through so far. You can take the soups and you can basically make it as a gravy to be eaten with the rice or with the samp or with the pap. And the dried soup powder tends to last quite a long time. So next on our list and last on our list for today is salt and spices. Now you should know, if you've been in the prepping community for a long time, that salt used to be, I think, 1,000, 2,000 years, they actually used to use salt for currency and for trading. Our bodies actually need salt as well to function properly. So salt is, and spices for us, in combination with the list that we've just discussed, is extremely important because it will make everything a bit more palatable. Well, thank you very much for watching South African Prepping channel. We are asking that you please like the page, subscribe to the page, and please share the page. Yeah, and we're looking forward to our next video.